Republicans just pulled off something Democrats never saw coming. They got voter ID passed twice in 1 week using a trick nobody was watching for.
On this vote, the yeas are 217, the nays are 209. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
That's not a fluke. That's a plan. Republicans learned months ago that the Senate's own parliamentarian would kill any straight voter ID mandate riding on reconciliation. So instead of writing a rule, they started writing a check. Grants tied to states that adopt citizenship checks on their own. Money survives the process. Mandates don't. So on July 15th, they quietly slipped that exact language into a foreign aid and national security bill, and it passed 217 to 209, with almost nobody outside Washington noticing. That's the blueprint. And a week later, they ran it again, bigger. That's Republicans playing offense. Look at what happened next, because this is where Democrats actually started breaking ranks.
We are not going to win the war against some kind of ID. Every poll shows 75 or better say we should have some kind of an ID to vote. Some say, I don't know what it is, but just quit fighting and go along with it and move to the next thing.
Is that a tufted headboard? Is James Carville in bed?
Yes.
Is he okay? Democrat strategist James Carville is telling his party to give up the fight over voter ID, and apparently he does it right before he falls asleep. He's arguing it's terrible. It's a terrible hill to die on, Democrats. And this is the Dems are pushing back against the Save America Act. New Fox polling shows voters overwhelmingly support ID requirements for when you vote. Roughly 8 in 10 said photo ID should be required to prove U.S. citizenship.
That's not a Republican strategist saying that that's one of the most respected Democratic operatives alive, telling his own party on the record that they've already lost this fight with the public. 3 out of 4 Americans support some form of voter identification. That's not Carville being controversial. He is simply reading the polling and telling Democrats to stop embarrassing themselves over an issue they cannot win. And practically on cue, reality proved his point for him. Because right as Carville said that, a Democratic governor had to go on camera and admit exactly what Republicans have been warning about for years.
June of 2023, nearly 3 years before I became governor, a serious software error in New Jersey's motor vehicle system led to the improper voter registration of what we believe to be roughly 6,600 people in our state. When New Jerseyans applied for a driver's license or identification at the MVC, they were asked if they wanted to register to vote. In the case of this error, some individuals indicated that they weren't citizens and weren't eligible to vote, but the software registered them anyway.
6,600 non-citizens registered to vote in New Jersey, confirmed by the Democratic governor herself, not a Republican press release. For years, the line from Democratic leadership has been that this doesn't happen, that it's a myth Republicans invented to justify voter suppression. It happened, in real numbers, in a real state, admitted on camera. And when a national reporter tried to get the House Minority Leader to actually reckon with it, watch what he did instead. Dana Bash asked Hakeem Jeffries a direct question about it. He didn't really answer.
Your next-door neighbor, New Jersey, just disclosed that 6,600 non-citizens were mistakenly registered to vote there from 2023 to 2024. 400 of them actually voted in elections since then. It is a small number compared to the 7 million voters in New Jersey, and there's no evidence that that swayed any election. But this is one of the most significant disclosures of non-citizen registration. Now, Democrats have repeatedly said that non-citizen voting doesn't happen. It happened. Is this a problem?
I think that I continue to have confidence in state and local authorities in making sure that there's going to be a free and fair election in November. And if modest or minor challenges emerge, such as the one that was disclosed voluntarily by the authorities in New Jersey, that it is immediately corrected. And that's what I expect will continue to happen.
Notice exactly what he does. He doesn't dispute the 6,600 number. He doesn't dispute that hundreds of them actually voted. He calls it modest, says it'll get corrected, and moves on before Bash can press further. That's not an answer, that's a pivot, and it's the same pivot his own members in the House just stopped making, because 13 of them broke ranks and voted for the citizenship check instead of running from it. So while Jeffries was busy changing the subject on national television, the real fight had already moved to the one place that actually matters. And there's one Republican vote in particular that could decide this whole thing.
Provision requiring a one-time proof of citizenship when you register to vote, I do not believe is burdensome. If you had to do it every time, I would not support this bill.
Critics, such as Collins' Democratic opponents in the race for Senate, Governor Janet Mills and Graham Plattner, argued the bill would disenfranchise women who have legally changed their name when they got married.
Collins was one of 4 Republicans who voted against the last version of this bill, and Democrats love pointing that out. What they leave out is this: she just told local reporters she is not actually against the substance at all. Her objection was about process, not the policy. That means the one vote holding this up in the Senate isn't a hard no, it's a persuadable maybe. If Thune and Trump actually close that gap, this bill has a real, genuine path to the president's desk, and everything you just watched, the vote trick, the warning from Carville, New Jersey's confession, the dodge from Jeffries, all of it was building toward this exact moment.